an interesting map.
Which map did you pick?
Badlands.
All
But
Badlands.
it's top right 2 slots versus bottom left 2
Yeah,
slots.
that's definitely a good decision. I played that a few times like this, so that's leaving much more room for offensive play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Wouldn't be too surprised to see some ACU action again. Yeah,
it depends where the pros go. I mean, if they go at the furthest ends, I mean,
I would think they go to the center position so they can take over the other 2 spots. Yeah, some feedback is I should let you have some more words. So yeah, you can definitely try to take the word sometimes, because I don't know when you are organizing the tourney and when you are.
Yeah, it's alright. I'll just pitch in.
Yeah, but that's also one of the reasons why I'm saying so much and he is not so much, because he is also organizing the tournament. So he's more like a secondary caster, in case I forgot how to English.
Alright, it's top left versus bottom right.
Alright.
No. Okay.
So is this wrong? Do we need to disqualify them?
No, it's fine. My bad memory. But yeah, it doesn't change the format really.
Oh right, so in
we
the
have
top team we have
Slow in the middle with Gently on the outside, and on the bottom we have Ajux in the middle and his brother on the outside. Personally, I think his brother's going to be aggressive. Press shift a minute, if you don't mind.
we should probably call him Kozak, or do you think he will appreciate if he's just Ajax's brother? It's certainly not a bad thing to be Ajax's brother. It's going to make you instantly famous.
Yeah, he's got a very early con move though, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to rush the top right. That's interesting. Not even building any P-gens, probably going to rush the Angie with Hydros and Ajax going for his Hydro with ACU. Let's see how that plays out.
Well, if you think about it, most sort of standard Badlands build for where the pros are will probably still work, because they don't really rely on the left side too much, I don't think. Not at the very start.
Yeah, absolutely. I know my build would still work if I were to remember it, but mine would definitely work from in the center spot. So these players, Low and Ajax, are definitely very familiar with this spot, because that's also the spots in 1 vs 1, and they will definitely know also how to play this map to some degree. It's not 1 vs 1 after all, but they are familiar with the reclaim. We can see manual reclaim from Slow going on, and nothing yet from Ajax.
Oh, we're seeing some air factories queued up from Ajax's brother, and is that air from Ajax?
Yeah, Ajax has one boss goes second air, I believe. Oh no, I think
third air from.
I think Ajax
third air from his brother, and second air from Ajax.
I think that's pretty smart one. Going no second air in 2 vs 2 can be really dangerous, because one bomber can suddenly screw 2 people and not just one. 2 second airs coming from Slow and Gently.
What is Gently doing apart from power stalling?
Yeah, looks like
or is it mass stalling?
He is mass stalling.
That is mass stalling. He is
really built his mass extractors, and passing this NGCs might be eco mod. I don't know, because maybe it was his decision, but I would rather finish my mass extractors in the air factory if I'm stalling mass so badly. But now he fixed his problems. But this is a really huge setback for this team.
The fact that he's overflowing power at minute 2.5.
That's not bad, because Low can use it. So in 2 vs 2, it's much more forgiving. But Low is starting with Jester. Oh, that's interesting. So Gently is probably starting Intis. He has the plan, the early air aggression, and ping going down into Ajax space.
Oh, they both went early labs as well. I mean, I think they're going to try and take Ajax out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, right now it definitely looks like it. Both labs are going on Ajax, and looks like Ajax is not... one tank is coming, but it's very late, so Ajax is definitely going to lose at least one engineer. Other lab not finding any target here. But he could potentially also cause quite some trouble if he keeps moving. And despite the stall, now after the lab aggression will come the Jester soon. So a combined arms attack here. Not really combined, but after each other, probably even more dangerous, because now Ajax is starting to get his tanks around, but the tanks won't help against the Jester. Next lab, Slow moving really smartly around the tank line from Ajax and still finding the engineer, but the engineer is hiding behind the mass extractor, surviving with his own build structure.
Yeah, and Kois, I think that's his name, Kois Q. I'm just going to call him Kois. Has already reached his expansion.
Kois Q. Yeah, I guess Kois is fine. Kois. Yeah, he reached his expansion so slow. Does he even know it? He should have a scout in this area. Otherwise, he could be in for quite some surprise. Yeah, he does know that there are some other extractors.
Did he see the commander?
Yeah. He probably did. I would expect that if he sees another extractor, that he also probably went with a scout in or something, or that he would expect at least that there is something, and it might be the ICU. At least he's not completely now blind, but the Jester is still alive, almost dead. Complete air superiority for the North team, because Kois did pause his air factory, power stalling, and Ajax not being able to keep up air production of 2 people, but since his ACU is there, he's going to build an anti-air tower, and if Slow does not retreat the Jester really fast, then it will go down to the anti-air tower. Looks like he didn't have the attention. This Jester could have lived quite for another days and probably raid the whole bag or something. Maybe assist against Curse Q. Can you make cat?
Sure.
Okay, just meowing here. Okay, that's good. Otherwise it could be quite distracting. Looking really good for the South team. The really biggest advantage of the North team was a Jester, and that just died. Another one might be in production, and indeed it is, but by the time it reaches the front line, maybe there's enough air from the South team again. Air factory is still paused, so probably not, but there's also anti-air in many positions now, and Kois did secure this top right expansion, and Slow making his own point defense now, so it looks like he wants to conserve the situation for a while, and that he doesn't see many chances to push him away here right now.
Yeah, well, I think a mistake from Kois would be building a lot of his land factories down at his original base, because that would extend his travel time for his unit.
Yeah, it would be probably a good idea to build them around here or something. But yeah. I don't think it's too bad. It's not such a long way. It's not. Even so, it's some mistake. I agree, but I think it's not going to decide too much. It's more decisive gently. He didn't really do anything so far. He won tech 2, and then of course he supported Slow with air, but it was not very successful yet. And his first unit is a Sparky building a point defense here. So it looks like he just wants to secure this position. Maybe their plan is to let Slow handle the game, and Gently is just supposed to not die and hold. Otherwise this point defense is very defensive, and it's just giving Ajax his whole side for free.
Also, it's kind of pointless because it's right in front of crater.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to point that out too. Yeah, many points here for the point defense. But it would probably shoot most times in the crater, so that is something Slow would probably not do after he played this map so much. And that's something where I'm not sure if Gentle plays much 1 vs 1.
He does. He mainly plays 1 vs 1.
Alright, then he should actually know that that's not a good position, and maybe he just realized because he reclaimed it and now he's starting to build it in another position. And meanwhile, this is looking quite interesting. Kois did move here and build a point defense, but then he didn't really do anything else. He had suddenly enough time to build an anti-air tower when he could expect another Jester to come. The air is chasing the bomber while it had free time to kill the Jester, and Slow is slowly surrounding Kois with points. That's could even be dangerous while Koi is repairing his mass extractors. Or assisting it. Not really doing too much against this Jester. Should probably build an anti-air tower.
Yeah.
Or at least bring some anti-air here, but otherwise, I mean, it's going to take a while, but you can also die against the Jester. Also, his point defense is dying now. He's trying to rebuild it, but not a good idea if the first one just died against artillery that's still alive and still shooting. So he might want to retreat from this position. It's starting to look more and more dangerous.
Well, I think that if Koiset had taken the opportunity to move down earlier, perhaps just before his point defense was destroyed, he could have sandwiched Zlo, perhaps.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
that's quite a few
Yeah,
tanks.
he does have significantly more units. He can probably go at least for a draw, and that's I would say that's a pretty good trade, Kois against Zlo, and even if it would be two equally skilled players, it's still a pretty good fight to take, because there's a high chance to not just get the draw but even kill him. Even so, this point defense is really smartly placed from Zlo. It's covering this whole area, allowing a retreat point, and Kois does have 2 artilleries, so if he would use them, he could maybe try to kill this arty. At the same time, Ajax is sending his units to the center now, but both Slow and Gently are having some Tech 2 units that are kiting really well. I kinda want to use this view more often to show that this game is not even that ugly, for considering it's so old, but that with screen share and screening I can't really do that. So this engagement in the middle went kind of undecided. Most Tech 2 tanks are still alive, but they didn't manage to push the Tech 1 tanks back yet either, and Kois is now he decided to go start to attack Zlo. I'm surprised that these guys are not in voice chat, because they already speak the same language and they probably know each other, because brothers often do. But they're trying to sandwich Slow completely now, not just with the ACU, also with Ajax units. But this point defense is still alive. Almost no health left. We're going to go down soon, but Slow is... he managed to get out of the range of Kois, or Kois let him allow to go out of the range. So unless he gets blocked by some units, then the damage from the ACU will not take part in the fight, and the Tech 2 units are here to come for the rescue. It's looking kinda close, but I think the fact that Kois did not manage to keep his ACU in the fight, that makes a difference here, and that's a pretty big difference. Otherwise they would have probably been able to kill Zlo. Even so, it's not at the end of the world, because the both ACUs are... Well, actually Kois has much more HP, obviously, he was out of the fight, but both players still have similar amount of units, so this is not going to be all Zlo's reclaim instantly, and also Ajax ACU, oh, he lost a lot of HP, how did he lose so much HP? Maybe he fought against his Tech 2 tanks without overcharge, but they are also full HP, so maybe not as well.
Well, I think I saw a couple of wrecks of pillars.
Yeah, maybe.
About where they were, so perhaps that's what happened.
But that's a lot of HP to lose, just like half HP without any major engagement. Maybe he didn't have enough energy to overcharge, but he has now also made his own Tech 2 transition, that's important. Both made it actually. Don't want to fight Tech 2. Or maybe he also got hit by TML, because there's another TML flying right now.
Yeah, that could be it.
And
I'm surprised how no one's got the plateaus yet. I mean, that's...
everyone is way too busy now. Ajax just made made the transport, and he already got the other one. So Ajax is going to take both plateaus, unless he loses it to the Jester. 18 kills now on the Jester. Kozak is not...
that is a hero.
Yeah, the Jester. Kois is... I always call him Kozak already, that's so wrong. Kois should really consider to build an anti-air tower. Some more tank engagements, Low using his rhinos really well, staying just in range, getting a lot of quick kills without losing anything. 5 kills on the rhino here, 6 kills on this one, so about 15 kills shared among these rhinos. Even so, now he's missing the point where he should retreat probably, but not even carrying, just scaring away Kois.
Well, I mean, he could
units.
slaughter all of that T1 if he wanted to, and still not lose that much HP.
There was a
Though
Tech 2
Ajax
tank,
is
however,
moving
and
on.
Ajax units. I thought they would come as well. Now so far Slow didn't lose a single tank while killing a lot. Also killing all these intis now that landed not in the most fortunate spot. And left side being really quiet. If this point defenses would have been placed somewhere here, this could be really threatening for Ajax, but Gently is very, very gentle here. And very defensive.
Well, I'd say Ajax could still do some aggression on the left side. I mean, he could either drop over the plateau and onto the other side.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to drop. He can just
sneak
yeah,
he
can just walk around here with some units. Like with if he takes 2 Ilshis and walks around here, then if Gently doesn't see that early, that could be really troublesome. And so there's a smart raider here in the corner. So that would probably see it, and then he could throw up some point defense, but he could try. And the question is if he needs his units in the center. He retreated his ACU really, really far back, and he doesn't have any upgrade. It would be probably a really good time to get an upgrade here, and then to bring the ACU back into the fight, as Slow is doing right now, because it's going with so much Tech 2 on the field. It's really hard to use unupgraded ACUs that die really fast, but if you have gun or Tech 2s, then it's much easier to still use it on this stage. So some engagement in the middle. So Slow did manage to take his side back after all and push Q away. Also secure most of this reclaim. Some of it still lying here. Lucas doing a good job getting his own little bit of it. And middle engagement going fairly without much happening. Gently retreating his tanks.
Yeah. I'm just looking, Ajax has got quite the eco lead on everyone.
Skirmishes on. I think Ajax has only, I looked a while ago, but I couldn't say it because I was too busy. He has only 1 Tech 2 Mass Extractor, so Slow has 0, but Gently already has 4 almost, and Koes has 1. So actually eco advantage for the top team here. Oh no, Slow has 2 Mass Extractors here in the back, hidden. That's very sneaky actually, because it can very easily happen that you look at this and then, just as I did even as observer, and then you think he doesn't have eco, and then you judge the situation wrong. So I'm surprised to see no upgrades here from the south team. The gun or Tech 2 ACU here would really make a difference, just as Slow ACU is doing already. So starting to really defend this position, getting some nice walls up. And while another small probing attack, this time from Ajax in the opposite direction. Yes, before still not much happening. Spotting the ACU and having to retreat here.
Does Gently have an upgrade on his command?
I don't think so. No, he doesn't. So that's really interesting.
That's
because
quite risky, actually. I'd say it.
Yeah, that's a lot of a big army. Even so, there are not a small amount of Tech 2 units with him from Slow and his own ones. So I think that's alright. But I think if you imagine how much a gun or Tech 2 or both ACU could do here, and how strong it would be, how that it could easily take over the center and maybe more, and same thing on the right side, then it's really surprising to see that no one is really doing that. Slow went Tech 2, did he want Tech 2? I think he must, because in the chat it
he
said...
might have a T2 NG?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, he does, because he went gun. So right now the game is evolving to be kind of static, gently pausing everything. Or maybe it's the eco mode again.
I don't think the eco mode paused that much. Once.
Yeah.
What's it not paused?
Yeah, I'm also wondering what he's actually doing right now.
Maybe he's going upgrade.
He's not doing anything. He just paused everything. Maybe he wants to give Slow mass, or he wanted to build. Now he started the upgrade, and cancelled it because he's seeing Ajax's army approaching. Maybe he wanted to build his point defense. He's starting to overflow soon. Slow also not being shot on mass. Slow being Tech 2 air building Corsairs now, so that's definitely always a very strong option for Cyber, and Ajax deciding to go for the all-in push now. Let's see how dangerous it really was, but he's running into all this Tech 1 point defense, so that's very...
that's not going to do much versus Skirmishes though. Not compared to the overcharge anyway.
Yeah, but it was definitely enough. This army is pretty much wiped out, some leftovers here, but all this reclaiming and gently being pretty much untouched. So
oh, that's a vet he's got, and halfway to the second.
yeah, this was definitely not a good attack from Ajax here. While meanwhile on the right side everything is really quiet. Slow starting to get really nicely through his entrance here.
Yeah.
Like this units know what's
Some really
happening.
pretty wall art.
And starting to line up just in front against the fighting line from Kois. And while Kois, what is Kois doing? Pausing a 80% mass extractor? No, I don't like this. Don't do this. Ah no, he just unpaused it. Yeah, great. And building some more tanks. Still no upgrade from either of these guys. Oh, I think Tech 2 upgrade from Ajax. Now, but not planning to use it offensively, just building a PGM, being very content. Everyone looks quite content actually with the situation. Slow is doing some really nice move with his Medusas, doing a lot of damage compared to the coast, what this few units coast, and he's actually causing a retreat from Kois, this Medusa being extremely strong. Taking over this whole army and scattering it away.
Is that TML of Slow still going? I mean, what's it shooting at now?
Yeah, I see it from time to time with... Oh no, I think this was... Where did this go? I thought this was maybe
think he was shooting
mobile
units.
missile launcher or something. Yeah, I think he was trying to catch some Ilshis.
Well, it's a bit worth it. I mean, a TML's 200 mass and...
yeah, if you hit, it's
400.
definitely worth. Especially you can hit more than one. But obviously it's pretty hard. So Corsairs are coming in now, scattering this army. Why is it a huge Ilshi army from Ajax? These are what, 15 Ilshis or something? That's really big. There's one flag in it. So, but one flag, oh no, there's actually more. Never mind. 3? I think it's 3. Yeah, if it's just one, it's easily snappable by Corsair, but 3 is a bit harder. And also, Ajax has a significant amount of intis, so these Corsairs should not be too much of a problem. But Kois deciding, deciding that this Medusa is too much. So retreating to the arms of his brother with all the Ilshis, or maybe they are just deciding that they have a huge unit advantage and that it's time to push this advantage. Even so, with 2 ACUs here, this would be pretty much unstoppable. But without ACU, this could be stopped, maybe, especially because Low is Tech 3 already. And
well, it is minute 17. I mean, that's a lot of.
Yeah, and there hasn't been too much action. But the biggest thing is with gun ACU, Tech 3 is rather weak because it gets overcharged so easy. But since there are no ACUs here, then the Tech 3 can unfold its full power.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be pretty hard. And as long as I wait, because this advantage comes. Yeah, no, Gently also have Tech 3. First person will be done soon. But I think if they really want to attack with this army, they have to do it now. Even though they don't have to, they can also just use it to defend. Even with Tech 3, it's not easy to attack such huge armies, but it's much easier to defend because you can kite so easily. So I think this attack might be a bad idea, especially since that's, even though it's a pretty big choke point, it's still a choke point.
Yeah. I'd also say they'd have to not string the units in as much.
Yeah, not like this. They have to line up before doing that. I know Slow is playing this perfectly. He's having his units in one straight line kiting, really where he didn't lose a single rhino yet. And his AC is coming, throwing up point defense. Slow is doing doing this really beautiful. Even his wall, it's not finished in this position, but all the small unbuilt or half-built walls still help. And these units didn't even do much damage yet. The brick is still fully alive, the ACUs are obviously
Well,
full
he's got
heads.
2 bricks.
And
Yeah.
Even so, there are so many units that it doesn't look like this attack failed yet. And Slow starting finally to lose a few rhinos, even so he did so much with his rhino army, but most of his army is dying and still didn't achieve too much.
Yeah, if they don't kill Slow right now, I'd say it's...
Yeah, I don't think they can
game
kill him
over.
anymore,
It's really
even
fun.
if there's nothing else. Then, yeah, this was such a huge mass gift. And I'm not sure why they rushed it so much. Maybe they were not under pressure. Maybe they saw the tech 3 is there and they have to do it now, otherwise they can't anymore. And that's correct, but the conclusion would be to not do it at all. Because it wasn't looking that bad, because he had the sides. Well, he's losing his expansion now, but that's if he didn't lose all the units in the middle, he could have easily taken that out and probably pushed the left side, because Gently also pretty much has nothing the whole game. So unless Low sends something to help, that would have been really hard.
Well, I think one T1 transport full of arties from Ajax, like at the left side of Gently's base, would
even a
just
Tech 2
wreck everything.
transport. Tech 2 transport would be...
Yeah.
Tech 1 transport maybe not that much, but Tech 2 transport would really do extremely much. And Ajax just starting a Trota. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, if you just lose your whole army, and that was a really huge army without really doing any damage, then that's a ballsy
Well,
move. And I think
mean,
that's pretty much the best thing they can do, because if they don't, they pretty much lost the game with
yeah,
that attack.
and it's not like they're going to be attacking anytime soon, because they're still going to be using the mass they've got for building an army. So I suppose it could be.
Yeah, probably. Even
justified.
so, to be fair, it kind of looks like they are attacking anyway, at least somewhat, because they still have the units. But it's true that they can't use the mass yet. They are building this with 2 players, so that's not going to be too slow. Even so, they don't have crazy amount of economy. 8 Tech 2 mass extractors for Ajax, and I think 3 for Kois, so that's rather low. But it's making progress. It's already at 30% or something. Yeah, 30%. So that's not slow. If they wait too long with their attack, then this could have some really good chance of getting finished. And well, another question if it will be enough, but it will certainly help to have a new Tota.
Well, personally, I'd control KO my land factories if I needed the mass, because this is a do or die, really.
Yeah, maybe. Even so, that also gives a bit away that you're doing something,
Yeah.
right? So maybe it depends a bit. But Corsairs coming in now, and so far I think they aren't even scouted. No, they are not. They will come as complete surprise. It will be shots out of the dark. There they are, going for the power. They will also kill the scout, the construction of this experimental. Yeah, while killing one pigeon, it doesn't really matter too much. It's not power limited.
Well, his mass stalling so hard he doesn't.
Yeah, that the power doesn't matter, but it's not a good thing because he needs to finish the thing. And the Tech 3 units are going to take over the left side at least, even so the point defense creep was stopped by the reinforcement units. But since the ACUs don't have an upgrade, Ajax has Tech 2 but no gun, then it's also not the easiest thing to stop Percival's even. So if they are microed wild and don't run into the ACU, he's running away. I think he needs to at least try to overcharge them, and now the Tech 3 artillery of Gently are killing the engineers. So unless they kill too many, then it shouldn't even matter because he doesn't have mass anyway. But if they start to kill all of them, and that can happen fairly fast, then this is already going to be GG. And it's already at 70%, and there's not too much, but he really needs to overcharge these bricks. Percival's. Maybe he should send his Tech 2 units in to protect this.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose anymore. I mean,
Yeah, exactly, and they are dying anyway. So now here. Oh no, they're just retreating a little bit from the break. What's the nasty? I think the best things I could do. Oh no, here we actually have this pass by now. Let's see what one Artie and one Ilshi can do. Would have been nice to see that earlier.
Yeah.
So most of the engines dying, some still alive. Tota's pretty fast. It looks like he's actually more done than it looks like because he got damaged.
Yeah.
Edric's trying to finish it. Let's see. But it's only 76%. So that's and now since he got mess, the power star is coming in, and he also got 0 power income left anymore. And Kois also has no PGen, or at least no PGen anymore. So they're trying to build to finish the Tota with Tick 1 PGens, and that's probably not going to work.
Yeah, they have like what 1k of power between them, if that. So
no, much less.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah. So, but the strategy definitely was interesting, was pushing here, and kinda interesting how little the side players did, both of them. Both Gently and Kois. Kois was like after the start, after he won here, then he actually he joined Ajax in his huge attack, so didn't do too little. Oh, that's at least this Chaos Storm is done, so it will at least take the unit out. And Slow played really great. Like he got surprised by the strategy, which was really good strategy, but he managed to. I mean, obviously he's a much better player, but he did some really nice micro in all these fights.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that. I can't help but think if Kois had gotten gun just after he'd lost the expansion,
I think so. Also Ajax. Both of them should have gotten gun or tech 2. And then apply more pressure in the center and the right side. That was probably the biggest mistake. Also, the North team didn't really do that either. But they didn't have the best situation for it. Even so, Gently could have also easily do that in the center. But this one situation where Slow almost died, but Kois didn't manage to keep his ACU in the range. That was really the game-changing moment, because Slow could have totally died there, and then it would have been obviously GG.
Yeah.
Alright, how's the turning going?
Well, we're just waiting on Chosen, Bloodier, and that match to finish, and then we can start round 3 and losers round 1.
Yeah, that's right. Even so, to be fair, the side players, they played against players double their rating or something, so can't really blame them for not doing too much.
Yeah, they did play well, all things considered.
I think the fact that they didn't just die and just get crushed by their opponents, that's already quite an achievement. Even so, especially Gently, he didn't really try. Like Ajax never attacked him, so maybe he gave the rating a bit too much respect. And
yeah, I would say that Gently could have been a bit more aggressive, at least. I mean, there was no action on the left side whatsoever. Other than that PD creep, which got destroyed. I suppose we could rush through Bloodier and Chosen's game while we're waiting for that.
We could do that. You want to really rush, like on plus speed?
Yeah, +5 or something.
Alright. Let's see if I can even get to +5 while screaming. And yeah, one comment is here that voice communication could really change things. And I agree, I think if you play 2 versus 2, then you should absolutely do voice communication, especially if you're brothers.
Yeah.
Then you have the best conditions you wish. But also if you are not, I think voice communication is... it also makes it so much more fun. Okay, let's
okay, so the pros once again starting in the middle. Suppose it's only normal.
Okay, well, so we have Peppy, or I don't know, Peppy and Chosen. against Bloodier and Stops again.
Well, this is going to be similar to last time for them, because you've got two sort of average Joes versus a pro and a sort of more new player, and yeah, it could be interesting if Stubbs can once again hold off his Joe for Bloodier to win. Long enough for Bloodier to win.
Yeah, we see a similar thing as the last game already. Labs going against the pro Bloodier in this case, trying to damage him as much as possible as long as he's still vulnerable. And also chosen, so same thing again here, focus on Bloodier.
I'd say there's a lot more aggression in early game aggression than last time. Because,
yeah, some tank micro here, chosen trying to put really pressure on Bloodier. Unsuccessful so far. But at the same time, this is also already forcing Bloodier to play defensive and securing their own expansion to some degree. Offense being the best defense is has certainly some truth in Supreme Commander. But no sneaky strategy here with early ACU movements. A lot of really good scouting here from the top team. I need to speed it up. So giving really a good conditions for the army to see where Bloodier is vulnerable and where it's possible to attack. Problem is he's not really vulnerable anywhere, he got a lot of units here. And Stubbs starting to get a significant army on the right side. But being very careful with it as well.
I think if he pushed up top to Chosen's sort of expansion the other side of the middle.
Yeah, he got quite some arty here, so the point defense isn't really a problem. Alright, so here we see the first gun from Stubbs. Stubbs is not under pressure at all, so he is free to do something, but I like to see some gun here. And a lot of air domination from Chosen, using bombers everywhere. Also Peppy using bombers.
Both players. Do the bottom side even have any air? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, they do have some air from time to time when intis come out of the air factory, so they have two air factories. But the NAS team is doing a really good job at killing the air. And they probably need to build some anti-air because some intis are not going to be enough. So huge success with these bombers, not just the damage that they do, it's also really annoying if you get bombed. Your stuff like Bloodier didn't even rebuild his mass extractor ever in his base, because now he starts doing that because it's just
and I think the Hydro's just gone down for the second time.
Yeah, it's actually both Hydros, so that's especially because he was making gun all the time, so that's coming to really unfortunate timing, or fortunate for the bomber. And he's also Tech 2, so Jusen is doing really good job here, applying a lot of pressure. Part-wise because he's not under pressure from Stubbs himself, change as the gun is finished now. Interesting to see the dividing of the map, that Chosen is taking care of the left and the right, and Peppy is taking the center.
Yeah, it's certainly different. I mean, it's working, so...
Yeah, they're doing very well.
And now Chosen's pushed on the right side because Stubbs misplaced his units. Or
quite some right here.
Stubbs
reacting with the ACU and stopping part of it, but it's pretty good also because it means the gun ACU is... let's slow this down a bit. The gun ACU is busy for a while and couldn't be in the center, even though that's really aggressive signature move of Chosen. Just getting into the front of the players with the ACU. Here's gun as well, I believe. Yeah. No Tech 2, I think. No.
Well, Chosen's got the units from two players, so Stubbs or Bloodier's base could be in some real trouble.
Yeah, even so, he's
on the left side.
retreating
he's
now.
Around now behind him.
probably a smart move to retreat because the units already passed by and staying would only be dangerous. So, and that's really strong that attack right now, because I was about to mention all this aggressive play from Chosen comes at a price because they were falling behind in eco really much. They have no Tech 2 Mother characters, they're playing all offensive. More Tech 1 factories even coming. I think that's actually pretty bad because you should rather build more Tech 2. But this attack absolutely worked. It didn't do too much damage, but it's still a success because it allows this follow-up attack now from Chosen.
Yeah.
And it kept Bloodia busy. So these units from Bloodia cannot assist Stubbs in this attack, and it really looks like Chosen is able to kill him. He's trying to draw, but Chosen is really smartly running away, and he just killed him and played it really well. Almost got the draw, 1000 HP, well 800, but yeah, Chosen played this really well. And
well, I mean, all things considered, Stubbs is only 1100. He did very well for his rating.
Yeah, he absolutely did very well for his rating, and it's not his fault that both players together, after all it was a team effort from the North team, that they kept Bloodia busy with this attack, and then Chosen was able to make the follow-up attack, and I think Stubbs was doing a really good thing trying to draw him here.
Well, personally, if I was Chosen, I'd keep on the attack now. Not with my commander, but with the units, well.
Yeah, that's he's doing that. He's trying, and absolutely he has to, because it's full share, so Bloodia now has 2 bases, and killing the ACU alone is not the best thing. I think what Chosen needs to do is get Tech 2 on the ACU and use the ACU offensively again.
Yeah.
Because having the 2 ACUs, we talk all the time how powerful this ACU is and how much of the difference it can make, and having Bloodia on 2 bases without using this ACU advantage would be actually rather a disadvantage than that you get something out of it. So to make this advantage of killing a player count, Chosen need to use this ACU again. Maybe not right now, but soon, and I think getting Tech 2 would allow that.
If you got T2 and maybe Nano, if you can afford it.
Yeah, you can get the cheap Nano pretty easy. You can also get the cheap regen field, and then don't
well, he's already
need
got
that
gun, and I'd say that was the more useful.
Right.
I think that's a PD creep.
Yeah, meanwhile Peppy is doing a pretty decent PT creep here in the middle, at least much more organized from Gently, with much more support, and the ACU here. And Bloodia is somewhat, he's having his own Tech 2 point defense, and he's very efficiently defending against it with one single Tech 2 point defense, always having the option to build more. But Bloodia is starting to probably get some attention problems because he needs to be everywhere now. He needs to manage 2 bases at once. So what the left team should do is try to also put some pressure on the left side now, maybe some mobile missile launchers or some run-by attacks on the left side to attack Bloodia at as many fronts as possible at once.
Well, that's a very nice drop coming in from Chosen on the left side. Also, Pappy tried a Jester.
The Jester died, and this drop is also spotted. But there are a lot of units here still from Bloodia, so this doesn't look to be a really fortunate drop. These tanks are dropped directly into their deaths. Well, so meanwhile, more attacks coming from the middle, so things really heating up here. This is not your average power creep. This is more power tower attack, where you build the towers directly in front of the face of your opponent, and Bloodia being forced to retreat his army from the right side, or to move it to the center to hold, which could be dangerous for Peppy, especially because he built a point defense for a long time instead of overcharging. But it also gives room.
3 Cerberus turrets. So
yeah, he got a lot. There are 3, and there are 2 more.
Position to retreat to.
Yeah, he got a really good position to retreat. Also, that's looking really good here. The Cerberus beams, and he's still dying, however, because he's Cybran, right?
Oh, yeah. There goes the paper issue.
Yeah, so
this is a 1v1 now.
Would allow Chosen to probably. I would think that he should have been able to push here. I think that was probably a mistake not to push here. So there are so many Ilchis, and now considering that all the tanks died here.
Yeah.
and that he lost his teammate. He could have really actually traded his teammate to push this position, and that wouldn't have been the worst trade in the world. Even so, I would I would say it's a 1v1, but I would totally give the edge to Bloody here in this 1 versus 1,
Bloody,
especially with so much multitasking. Not sure
Bloody
if
is
Chosen can do that.
better.
And he also has a much better position because he got eco, and the top team just didn't eco at all, which I like. I prove that because that game is really action packed, and I really like the aggressive style from them. Some engagement on the right side. Skirmishes should be really easy for Chosen if he wants to retreat, but he really shouldn't because he totally has a army to take this out, and this right side was his opportunity to really do something. So it's unfortunate that he didn't do that. He's taking over the side now, and he is looks like he's preparing for snipe on Bloody, and I think that's a really good idea. Because Bloody is still busy.
Numbers aren't that good for sniping commanders, I don't think. I mean, the bombs are fairly easy to dodge, as long as you're paying attention.
Yeah, but it's alright, you can go to the second pass, so it's not, that are not Corsairs, but considering Chosen's options, I think it's a really smart decision, because if he really plays conventional, then even if he would be as good as Bloody, he's not a bad player, but I think we agree then that the Bloody has definitely the edge and skill in this situation, but also the economy situation that he's behind, and I think that it's a really good situation to snipe. And it's also really good to start now, as long as he waits. Bloody also has only half HP, right? And he doesn't even have shield, and he's busy doing stuff. So what he should do is apply pressure with his units like he's doing now. I think he's playing the snipe really well. So he applies pressure so Bloody doesn't get bored and starts to scout.
There's a TML somewhere from Chosen. I thought I saw the yellow dot.
There may be mobile missile launchers.
MML.
Yeah, I don't think at least I can't see it, TML. Well, some run by here from Chosen, even so huge army starts to mess up from Bloody, and this army should be enough to push through the center, but that's alright because Chosen is not planning to hold this. He just needs to get a few more bombers. Maybe if you get 10 or something in total, this should be alright. And I think if you execute it well, if you don't make all your bomb drop at the same time, so you spread your bombers in 2 groups or something, and send the other one slightly behind the other, then it gets really hard to dodge, and then you need to try to get a second pass, which means that he would also need more intis as well. So if he tries to do this like a 1 Corsair snipe, a 1 pass snipe, then the bomber die against air, that's probably not going to work. So he could also work on getting air control. Actually, a really big opening here for Chosen to move into Bloody with his Ilchis as well, and maybe do some extra damage, or force him to move out of his shield. He doesn't even have a shield, so but I don't think Chosen knows that. Let's see when he starts to decide to give the go for his bombers. Time is running somewhat, even though the situation isn't looking that terribly. He's getting an upgrade right now, maybe gun to stop this army.
I'd say if Bloody pushed Chosen here, he could at least force to cancel the upgrade.
Yeah, I also think so, but he probably doesn't know. So is they are upgrading, but I think Bloody Chosen needs to start soon, because Bloody will scout with his army alone, and that's definitely something that Chosen doesn't want. I don't think his snipe is spotted yet. Well, he knows the Tech 2 airs there, but he doesn't. I don't think he knows that Chosen is going all in on the snipe. But he will see the amount of NGs here now, and then he will probably get suspicious and build a shield. There's a shield, so I think Chosen had a really good time window, but he waited a little bit too long. Because he could have catch Bloody by surprise.
Well, he's doing some nice harassing with those T2 gunships or
No,
jesters.
these are jesters, so that's a really good opportunity for him because the air moved to the left side. He can first he can fight air here. There is no flag anywhere close. If he would fight air here, that wouldn't be so great. So he can use the jesters as bait for the air, and he has more, so that should work. But also if he loses air, then he can use it to distract. But I don't think he has enough Tech 2 bombers to do this. Even so, Bloody doesn't really have any anti-air.
He's not aiming for Bloody though.
He's not aiming for Bloody, he's aiming for the power. Not so sure about that. Yeah, but I don't think it's really going to be enough.
Yeah.
Because he already lost too much of the map. He also ecoed a lot. Actually, that could make the difference. Because he's not that much behind anymore in eco. So I was assuming that he still didn't do any Tech 2 Mass Extractors, and he also made a lot of Tech 2 gunships, 2 places. So he could actually really, I think that's really smart to go for the power. And so I would say usually it's not enough. At the same time, I wonder if he didn't do all the Tech 2 Mass Extractors and made Tech 2 bombers for them.
Yeah.
Then he would have probably more, and then he could probably kill the ACU. But he killed the Tech 2 power just before the ACU. Before the shield came up, but you can see how fast Bloody is rebuilding the pigeon on the
Yeah, I
wreckage.
don't think this has hurt Bloody at all. I mean, the shield's not even going on.
He's not even stalling, because he got so significant amount of Tech 1 power, and there are also so many Hydros on this map.
Well, he hasn't actually rebuilt the one that
That's
destroyed
true.
earlier in the middle.
Oh, there's another Tech 2 pigeon here.
Right.
Oh, that's unfortunate because Chosen missed that. He could have easily killed that as well.
He probably still could.
Yeah, but now it doesn't really matter anymore.
Bloody had some real trouble.
Now he already got the other Tech 2 pigeon again. So he needed to kill all at once. Even if he kills these two and then this one, by the time he kills this one, he already almost rebuilt it on the wreckage. So this didn't really hurt Bloody too much. And
I'm surprised Bloody didn't have any flak in his army though.
yeah, me as well. This is such a huge army, and it's so easy to just mix in one flag per 5 or 10 tanks. It doesn't really hurt much. Chosen, on the other hand, has flag. His Tech 2 Gunship's doing good work with the army, but he still lost his whole expansion. Holy shit, he went Tech 3 air? That's crazy. How does he afford that?
Well, it's not that expensive. I suppose he was getting RAS at the time.
He does have RAS. Yeah, it wasn't gun that he did here. Maybe,
RAS.
or maybe he did RAS and then he made gun here and then he made RAS later. But yeah, that's.
Well, he's got the power for T3 air, and I suppose with that army he just took out with T2 gunships, he's certainly got the power.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm just surprised by this move because.
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah,
but he can do some real damage with those strats now.
Yeah, if he micros them well, then that's really the key here. He can't afford to lose the strat against some inties. But I don't think Bloody has absolutely zero answer to this. He doesn't have Tech 3 at all. So he can't build a SAM, he can't do anything except try to catch up with inties or make a lot of Tech 1 anti-air. And you can see that even this few anti-air towers here, 3 or 4, do quite a bit of damage combined with the inties.
Yeah,
and
he really needs to assist
1.
the strat with his inties.
Yeah, that's
or at least pay more attention, because that's pretty painful though.
Yeah, and he's doing that to kill Tech 1 Mass Extractors. I don't know about that.
Well, that army was nice, I suppose.
Yeah, this bomb, some bombs was really, also the passing was really good. But yeah, in the end it still died. But there's already 2 more strats, so that's really a crazy move that your snipe just failed and then you just go Tech 3 air and RAS. And he also went Tech 3 land. How is he doing all that? That's crazy. I guess the eco did pay off to some degree afterwards, and he's doing everything. I would think if he goes Tech 3 air, then this is really a run against time. If his bombers can do enough damage.
Yeah.
But with own Tech 3 land, he can actually, and he has a lot of ilchis again as well, he can actually make his own stand on land. I don't think he should use the bombers to defend, because everything here is dead anyway, so it's pretty pointless to defend this. And he has his own army that will deal with it, and he need to use the time that he has with his bombers to kill him. So he should have bombed this. As now Bloody has Tech 3 and makes Tech 3 anti-air, which means now his great opportunity to win the game really easy with Tech 3 bombers is gone. That's really unfortunate. He had everything with this move. and it was really a great move. It surprised both of us. But now he can still do something with it, but much less than before. Tax 3 anti-air on the expansion as well. I think it would be a good decision to stop making Tech 3 bombers now and just focus on land, because they're not going to do much more against the eco here. Against the Tech 3 anti-air, what am I saying? I should maybe speed it up again. Is the round finished?
No, they're still going.
Alright.
But I have started round 3 and losers round 1 because I got fed up with it.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to speed it up again. So, it shows him building a big loyalist army now. So, he can probably do something with this if he hurries, because Bloodier only made anti-air so far, even so he also got a pretty big Tech 2 army. And Chosen is trying, but running into Percy's. And my mouse is not doing what I want.
I mean, this frame rate's
yeah,
like 3.
yeah, the streaming is stacking really high tax on CPU power. Chosen just building loyalists.
So, who has more reclaim at the minute, mass-wise? We've got 54k for Bloodier and only half for Chosen. That's quite surprising given the attack Bloodier has been doing.
Is it really? I think all the strat bombers are huge.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many did he build? I was busy.
Like 5 or 6, and they pretty much all died without doing anything.
Ouch, yeah, that hurts. He should have built them up.
Yeah, he absolutely, and then he could have sniped Bloodiers, I see, really easy if he just built them up, or he could do something else.
What's the gunships doing on the right?
These are not gunships, these are really, really good drops. And on the left as well.
Right by his, oh god, that is bad.
Oh, they died, oh no, that's so unfortunate. And here as well, oh, that's so sad, he had 4 Tech 2 gunships. 4 Tech 2 transports full with Ilshis.
Yeah. Chosen spun the lose on Wheel of Excuse there.
Yeah, and all of them died. Wow, that's so unfortunate. I really liked this move so much. Two drops at both sides at once, and also Bloodier's reaction. Like if you drop 2 sides at once, you expect usually at least one side works, sometimes both. But Bloodier had his air parked in both spots. So that was really good.
I guess he was expecting them, so well played on Bloodier's part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're going to attack going up the right side from Bloodier, I think.
Yeah, more strats.
How much T3's in there?
Wasted, I think about 10 Percy's, maybe. Yeah.
That could do some damage versus...
That could do more than some damage, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't think Chosen has much to stop this. He is building Nitota, so that could definitely stop it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm really surprised how much Chosen is building, and also how much he is wasting the strat bombers, and still able to make a stand on land. I would
maybe Bloody is fatigued after the last game, or maybe even after this one, because playing matches like this does tend to take it out on you.
Yeah, maybe. But Chosen is also playing really well. Also, he is keeping up in eco. He made an Omni with the power from Raz,
nice.
So that's definitely helping him, seeing all the attacks, and now the Itota is rampaging on the Percival's.
Well, Bloody's done the smart thing and split his forces up, so he's going to get quite a few mexes at the back if he carries on pushing, I think.
Yeah, even so these are... oh no, Chosen is walking in with his loyalists. I think if he kited well, or he can still do it, then he should be able to take out this force. And now takes 3 gunships from Bloody, so that's going to make a really big difference. That Bloody has complete Tech 3 air domination. So Bloody made it much smarter. So he didn't make so many strats or anything. He just kept air domination, and once he has air domination for sure, then he knows he has all the time in the world to use his air. Even so, they are also losing against, dying against interceptors now. And another really big possible attack while the Tutor was busy on the right side. Another really big possible attack came through on the left side, and looks like they will might die in the end, but going to do huge amount of damage to the economy. And now Chosen has a big problem that he is getting overrun on land everywhere, but at the same time he lost air control and is going to get attacked by air, so he needs to build anti-air.
Well, he's still building gunships as well. I mean, that's just throwing mass away.
No, I think he only built 1 or 2. I think that was actually not bad, because he needed them to defend, and he was just hoping that they can do some damage.
It's strange to see Percival's outrunning something, though.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. Even so, now they stop running, much to their yeah, whatever. I can't English. But what's the Tutor doing? He can't really attack because he would need a lot of anti-air to support him. And what is Bloody doing? Bloody is just building more air and just messing strats. So he is doing what Chosen should have probably done as well. Even though it's easy to say as a replay Chosen. I'm very impressed he instantly rebuilt his Omni. So he's not going to be surprised by the strats. He should try Scout. Because he currently has no idea. So these are ASF, he can see that, but he doesn't know about the strats. And he's trying to attack with the Utota, but I find that weird, because I think he didn't attack before because of the air, but he still doesn't have anti-air, now he attacks. Scouting coming up now. Strats are scouted, so he definitely knows what's up. And takes 3 mass extractor without storage.
Can you hear someone?
Pardon?
I swore I just heard someone then.
Someone?
Oh, never mind, it's my mumble. Hold on.
Oh, Chosen managed to kill the strats and snipe them. That's huge, and that's a really good move. And he didn't even lose all his ASF for it. That's very impressive, and maybe Bloody being a second unattentive. And another really big possible attack from Blodia, just taking out the chicken god, and meanwhile more Percival's trying to kill Chosen. Unsuccessful so far, giving some veterans. He even maybe should have tried to kill the Tech 3 pigeon instead. Also gunships from Chosen actually being, despite not having air control, quite successful as killing some Percivals, and now Chosen having huge amount of mass. That's 2 experimentals here, one in the actual experimental and one in form of a lot of Percivals that he could make. Was that the question is if he is able to use all this reclaim so fast as he need to. And the other question is what Bloody is going to do. In the meantime, it looks like at the moment he is deciding to just give the strats another try. So, but killing this first strats that were 5 to 10 strats, something in between, that would have easily finished Chosen off after the Percivals damaged him, or the opposite. So that totally kept him in the game. And he might even have an advantage now with all this reclaim. Even so, Bloody has big amount of eco. I think everything is Tech 2, and I don't see any Tech 3 mass extractors, so he has full Tech 2 mass extractors pretty much, while Chosen doesn't really, especially because he keeps getting raided or attacked from time to time, but he has most of it on Tech 2, and he also got this 1 Tech 3 mass extractor without storage. But of course the reclaim is going to make the real difference. And looks like Bloody is going to lose one of his sides. I have to speed it up maybe again. How fast can I run it? Bloody is going to lose something for the, some expansion here for the first time since a long time. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I'd say that was unlost, pretty much, with those strats. So
yeah,
that's-
they did quite a lot of damage, but it's more the psychology, right, or indicating that the game actually changed a bit and that Chosen is able to damage Bloodier's homeland again. So that's something. So he's absolutely showing that he's absolutely capable of taking on Bloodier here, and he
yeah,
made a nuke now.
Really
So
impressive from Chosen. I didn't think he was this good. I mean, I
yeah,
know he was good.
I think we
but,
didn't do justice to him. And Bloody spotted the nuke, making the anti-nuke now. I think should be in time, absolutely. The nuke isn't very far. So, good reaction from Bloody here. Good scouting. I think it's very easy to get caught off guard by a nuke when you build it fast. At least I was surprised. I would have expected another chicken pod or something like this. Because if you don't build it, you also risk really easily to get overrun by an own.
I'm surprised Bloody hasn't built a fat boy yet.
Yeah, me too. I would think he will defend by. I would also be afraid to, if I wouldn't have a fought by, that I just get overrun by some chicken bots. But he seems to be content with a lot of possibles. But possibles are really strong. Well, in combination with the fat boy, that's so good because now Chosen is making sniper bots, so the fat boy would completely crush the sniper bots.
Well, if it wasn't for the T3 shields, I think basically anything would.
Yeah, absolutely, but
Strats might
the
be a
fat
nice
boy
counter
is
to
maybe
this.
the by far best counter to them, because he's also good against other things. Chosen made a lot of text-free anti-air, which makes sense because he needs them, but at the same time he also needs probably more snipers, so that's or maybe the nuke was a bit much, because now he's already losing against this, at this stage of the game, fairly medium-sized army of bricks, trying to use his gunships now, and he should not fight air here. He needs this air so badly to snipe the next strat attempt from Bloodier, if it comes. So
Yeah, that looks like
he tries to lure him over his text-free anti. Yeah, it seems to be working right now. And Chosen forgot to retreat his sniper bots for a moment. That could be dangerous. And so maybe he did it just in time. But it's still the brick army. Oh, look at this! Bloodier's air force just got destroyed by the text-free anti-air.
yeah, I'd say that's a win for Chosen. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. That was really really
if
great
he
play.
deal with these Percies now, he has a real chance of winning.
Yeah, he does, absolutely. There are quite some Percies here, or bricks, but they need to be together with the ACU so they can overcharge. And
What I would also say is that a weakness of Seraphim is really starting to show now, where he only has access to T2 gunship.
yeah, but it's not actually that bad, because the damage, the DPS is not bad at all for the Tech 2 gunships. But
that is painful.
yeah, so the Terrain is working both for Chosen because he can overcharge easily, but it's also working very big for Bloodier because its sniper bots don't really work in these craters. Oh, what is he aiming at? Okay, he tried to kill the Tex 3 pigeon as suicide mission for the Percival's. No big deal, he should have more than enough power with others. And he lost air and so many Percival's on this engagement, so...
yeah, that's certainly a lot of reclaim for
Chosen is
Chosen
making
there.
another stand here, assisting his shield even. And shielding his nuke, even so he got the anti-nuke here. It's already done, the nuke isn't even half finished. Getting some praise from his teammate here, but the nuke is going to take a time longer. Maybe he could try to nuke a big army of Percies, or an
Yeah, or
expansion.
perhaps he could TML snipe the SMD. I mean, how many
Yeah,
TMDs
that would
does,
work, yeah, absolutely. It doesn't really matter how many he got, he can always build more TMLs really quick. I think he got like 3, 4, 5, something like this. That would work.
Well, a battery of 8 or 9.
Yeah, he could actually even try Tele SU, the anti-nuke. The Rifle Tele SU is not bad at all. And he already got so much power, so he can afford it rather easily. Not that easy, but compared to all the other stuff he's affording, like nukes and experimentals, I'm really surprised Bloody is not building a fat boy. I think he's just ecoing right now mostly. Some Tex Remax is coming up. while what's happening for Chosen. It's really painful to see the extreme max without storage. 3 of them. Why?
Well, that's probably an APM issue. I mean,
Yeah, it probably is, but it's the APM has to be there for this. I mean, other things, whatever. He also has lots of Textream as a controller here, which I find kind of weird because maybe also APM reasons, but that's not a good spot. And so Bloody is not really focusing on this, but that's very vulnerable.
Are those strats going in at the bottom?
It's just protected by the wall. The strats?
Chosen strats.
Oh, these are Tech 1 bombers.
Alright.
Yeah,
he'll be going to the build power.
If it were strats, he could maybe even nuke snap the anti-nukes there. Better fast. Oh, these TMLs. How far do they reach?
I'm guessing the SMD.
Yes, they absolutely do.
On the Cybern ones as well, I mean, UEF TMD's not going to do much against them.
Yeah, that could be really interesting if he actually builds them to kill the SMD. And he's also having some medium success with the sniper bots here, but it's definitely slowing the threat Bloody is building with his persuades. And the threat is getting pretty big. There's a lot of persuades. Let's see how many these are. Exactly, these are 30 persuades right now. So he already tried 2 times to mass enough persuades and then push, and it was not enough both times, but this third time it could be enough every time.
Well, what I'd also say is that Bloody has got air control back. I mean, if you look at the difference in ASF numbers...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so I don't think Chosen should try to get air control here, because he's really successful at working without air control. And it's not
I think Chosen might have over-ecoed a bit too much though, because...
yeah, I also think so. He needs more Tech 3 units, and he made quantum gates. He wanted to make the switch of STUs, but he invested so much in that, and nothing came out of it. And now Chosen Bloody attacks. So if this attack fails, then Chosen will be in a really good state because his STU production will come online. But until this happens, and what I think that's the TML preset as well. That's really nice. I love this. He could go with the TMLs.
What exact upgrades do they all have? I'm not familiar with the SCU presets.
Oh, there are so many. So the missile preset, it's TML teleport as well, really? Or is it just a possible? I think that are the possible upgrades.
When Stats was integrated, it just gives them all possible.
I think it's just TML. In any case, I don't think we will actually get to see it because the sniper bots are dying right now, and
he needed at least 1 chick in there.
Yeah, he really needed to make a chick. He ecoed a bit too much.
How much mass does Chosen have?
Yeah, he's so much. Not in the bank, but he has so many tech streamers actually. He just ecoed, he over-ecoed against Bloody, so that's really an achievement itself actually.
Every one of those quantum gates was 5k mass, so
yeah, and then
with chicken he'd have probably been fine.
Then there are 8. Oh, he should nuke his Perseus.
Yeah, support nuke.
He has to. If he doesn't nuke them, he's dying. What's the point of nuking this expansion right now?
Well, are there any T3 maxes?
No, not even. So even...
Jesus. Well...
even if there wouldn't be Perseus in his base, that wouldn't be a good idea to nuke this. It would be better to hold the nuke and maybe nuke something later. But not only the quantum gates are wasted mass, but also there are now 5 SCUs done. 4.
Yeah.
With wasted mass. So Chosen completely neglected the threat, and he could see everything. He could completely see the perseverance messing up, and he had to see that he needs to have something to stop this. And he probably built the STUs to stop this, but it was just too late. He just needed... He could have also just made a lot more Tech 3 factories and build more sniper bots. Even so, I wouldn't want to build too many.
Flat terrain often's on that bad, I suppose.
Sniper, yeah, absolutely, it's completely flat except the craters. Even so, I wouldn't want to build too many sniper bots because they all become useless if there is a fat boy.
Yeah.
But could at least build more and maybe some Tech 3 tanks as well or something. And just build 1 or 2 chickens and then it would be good. And he was, but not to take anything away from him, he was playing really great. And
oh yeah, he played absolutely brilliantly.
And especially he played in the end he played a really great switch of playing really aggressive and then echoing. So I really liked this. And
maybe
tried
that was his
many things.
Sort of team game.
Yeah,
usual team game play.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really enjoyed it. While Blodia was actually playing mostly reactive. and just messing puzzles and then trying when it's enough. Where Bloody Chosen tried so many different things here. And also TMLs in the end. This drops, there's a Tech 3 mobile arty drop here. So think about that.
Wow.
Probably he wanted to use these to support the tech maybe on the TMD, on the SMD. So he just gets some damage on the shields done, and then he can TML them. Maybe on top with the TML STUs. Maybe that was his plan, and that's a really like the 3 different kinds of attacks on the SMD. That's really interesting. Unfortunately, he could have still done that if he built 1 or 2 more chickens instead of more eco. So in the end,
even if he really wanted to be aggressive or risky, he could have gone double nano and T3 and gun.
yeah, absolutely.
That stood a fairly good chance versus those chickens.
Versus the pussies, you mean? I think that were too many. He still needed a chicken or something.
Yeah.
And he could have probably, just to teleport and kill the anti, but he actually had much more mass than Bloody in the end. Well, not surprising since he ecoed so much, but I think, we talked about the switches between aggressive play and eco, and in the end it was just one switch too much. He didn't switch back to aggressive play from eco fast enough. But this was a really good game in the end.
I'll be back when it's going to